Welcome to a journey and stories of Presbyterians discovering and becoming God's new family. Stories of change define our history and life in the Presbyterian Church. We are part of the Reformed tradition. Change and growth are part of who we are as Presbyterians and people of faith. In earlier days, we were confronted with the issue of human slavery. Presbyterians had used Scripture and church teachings to support that cruel institution of slavery. But we looked at Scripture again, and we found a way to come to another understanding. We were wrong about slavery. We were wrong about African American people, our very own sisters and brothers. We also found ourselves at a moment of decision and change in thinking about the role of women in the church. Women's ordination was the question of the day. Again, we had used Scripture and church law to support the subordination of women. But we looked more deeply at Scripture and at our attitudes toward women and church law, and we realized again we were wrong. In both of these moments in our history, we discovered new ways to think about people, Scripture, what it means to be the church, and we discovered how to become God's new family. We are faced with a third moment. We live in a homophobic world. Since 1978, we've been part of a church with a homophobic, anti-gay policy. We live in a church that is afraid of love and is afraid to love. In this case, are we afraid of justice? Afraid to do justice? The church is God's reconciling work in progress. We have work to do. How did the question of welcome and affirmation of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people enter the Presbyterian story? This is our story. In 1974, the Reverend David Sent, who was serving a Presbyterian church in Chicago, went to his first national Presbyterian General Assembly. In the midst of that assembly and thousands of people, he held up a sign, and it said, "Is anyone else out there gay?" In that moment, with that sign in question, David Sent came out as a gay man and a Presbyterian minister to his entire church and the entire world. Presbyterians were now faced with the question of welcome and affirmation of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people. The question became, were these people part of God's family too?